If you're in the market for a ice cream cone waffle maker, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Chef's Choice 838 Waffle Cone Express waffle cone maker. Hey guys, my name is Pat, creator of All Day I Eat Like a Shark, where I share my Japanese recipe videos once a week showing you how to cook Japanese food. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing for more videos like this one. Today what we're going to be doing is something a little bit different than the usual. We are going to be doing a little bit of a product review of the Chef's Choice waffle cone maker, as well as a demo of one of my go-to waffle cone recipes. So first things first, what the machine comes with, it comes with this manual, which I only used a couple times, and then it comes with this waffle cone mold. I guess if you want to call it a mold, it's more like of a, I guess, yeah, it is a mold. So it comes with this waffle cone mold, and then the machine itself, and then the cable, which is attached to the machine. I'm going to go ahead and preheat it because we're just about ready. There's a few grooves on the bottom here where you can actually store the cable and wrap it around. I'd say this is about 8 inches by 10 inches, and then maybe about 4 to 5 inches tall. And the cones that it makes are about 7 inches wide. So that's if you lay it out flat. If you wrap it, it's going to be about this size. So it's a pretty good sized cone, probably enough for about 2 large scoops or 1 stingy scoop. So yeah, that's the size of this. And basically all you have to do after you make the waffle cone batter is mix it, and then you put in about 1/4 cup's worth right in the center, and then you just close it, and there's a little latch there where it latches shut. And then on the other side you have color control. So depending on how light or dark you like your waffle cones to be, you can adjust. It goes from 1 to 6 on this thing, 6 being the darkest. And it also tells you when the machine is ready. There's a green light and a red light. Red light tells you that it's baking, and the green light tells you that it's done. And other than that, that's pretty much how you use the machine. You want to use probably either some tongs, probably some silicone coated tongs, or a spatula like this, silicone spatula, so that when you drag off the hot waffle, you're not going to scratch the non-stick surface. So key point there. And right now I'm just preheating it. We're going to go ahead and mix everything together. Some other tips, I would say, or some other features of this machine, it's a 1,000-watt machine, so it's very high powered. It'll cook your waffles in about 90 seconds on average is what I found. It does come with a 1-year warranty. So let's go over some of the pros. This thing makes great waffle cones. I'm very happy with the texture and the color of the waffle cones that it produces. You have the flexibility of actually shaping it into a cone, or you can just take it out as a disc and cut it into triangles. That way you have like a waffle cone wedge. You can also form bowls. You can make a waffle cone bowl using a couple tea towels, which is what I have here. Get these on Amazon as well. Some of the cons, you can only do 1 waffle at a time, waffle cone at a time. Obviously, if you're going to try using this in an ice cream shop or whatever, you might need a few of them, which I have seen some ice cream shops use. For example, they'll use like 3 or 4 waffle cone machines at a time. The waffle cones are relatively big. So if you're looking for very small, like a child size or like a traditional sugar cone, which are a lot smaller than waffle cones, obviously you're going to end up with a much bigger cone using this machine, but you can also get around that by using less batter. So maybe instead of a 1/4 cup of batter in the machine, you can do like a couple tablespoons, and that should decrease the size of the waffle cone to about half size, which is more in line with a traditional sugar cone size. The recipes that it came with in the book, they're all right. I found a few other recipes that I like a little bit better, and I'll link them in the description below. And if you're interested in hearing about my ice cream maker machine, the Breville Smart Scoop, which is my ice cream machine that I've had about, I don't know, 2-3 years-ish now. It's with a compressor. That's all the, that's how I make all my homemade ice cream. So homemade ice cream, homemade waffle cones, and I'm gold. Yeah. I think those are the pros and cons. So overall, very happy with this machine. As you can tell, it's a very specialized machine. The only thing that you can use it for is waffle cones, just like a regular waffle cone machine or a regular waffle maker, for example. You can only use it for waffles. But there is another thing that you can use this for, and that's stroopwafel. So if you haven't heard of stroopwafel before, it's a Dutch dessert or cookie. I had the real thing when I went to Amsterdam a few years ago, and they are very delicious. It's almost like a very large cookie with some very sweet cookie butter filling on the inside. They have it at Trader Joe's, which is I think the first place that I tried it. I think that's going to be pretty much it for the product review. Anything that I forgot to say, I'll make sure to put in the description below, and if you have any questions or comments, just let me know in the comment section. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and prepare all of the ingredients that I have here to make one of my go-to waffle cone recipes. I have my waffle cone folding area ready to go. So in this container, I have a 1/4 cup of whole milk. We're going to use about 4 tablespoons of butter, 2 eggs, about 6 tablespoons of sugar. We're just going to combine everything together and whisk. We're going to throw in a pinch of salt. If I wanted to do plain cones, I would not be using cinnamon, but today we're going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon just for a little bit of a spicy kick. Since I have cinnamon ice cream, I wanted cinnamon cones. By the way, if you've never made cinnamon ice cream that tastes spicy, like as in bubblegum spicy, you are missing out. I was missing out until I made this cinnamon ice cream a few years ago, and I realized why cinnamon is called a spice, because it's spicy. Okay, so there's cinnamon, we put the salt in. Now we're gonna combine the vanilla. We're gonna do about a 1/2 teaspoon's worth of vanilla. This is Madagascar and Mexican blend. It's a 50-50 blend. I got this at Williams-Sonoma. And this thing is stuck because I haven't used it in a while. I think I'm gonna run this under hot water. And then we're gonna melt about 4 tablespoons of butter in the microwave, and then add in the 2 eggs there, and then we're gonna whisk everything together, and by that time, the waffle machine should be hot enough that it'll be ready to make our first batch of waffles. All right, see how easy that was? I didn't even have to do it. I didn't even have to push. Just opened right up. All right, half teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you want a different variation, you can also try almond. Almond is a good one, depending on the ice cream that you're trying to pair it with. Almond would go good with strawberry vodka ice cream, for example, or vanilla. We're gonna do 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm just gonna microwave it really quick. So it's a 1/2 stick of butter. And then we're just gonna do 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour. And that's pretty much it. And once you get your first waffle going in the waffle machine, your house will begin to smell like waffles. So get excited. I'm excited. And if you're not excited yet, I'll be excited for you. All right. Do that for like about 40 seconds. Drop in 2/3 cup all-purpose flour. There's 1, there's 2. And then we'll put in a couple eggs. A couple of my other favorite waffle cone recipes. One is matcha, green tea matcha, as well as hojicha and lemon poppy. All right. So there's the 4 tablespoons of butter. Let's get this in there, and then we're gonna whisk everything. Just until it's incorporated. You don't need to over whisk. If you have issues with clumps with your flour or your batter, like for example, if you are whisking by hand instead of an immersion blender, one way that you can get around that is by using a sifter. That also helps to make your measurements more accurate. But I don't do that for my waffle cones, more so for cakes. It's more important for cakes, I feel like. So here's our batter, ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and start cooking, or not cooking, we're gonna bake, I guess, would you call it bake? We're gonna heat the waffle batter to make our waffle cones. You can see that the green light turned on, so it's ready. And I have my color control at a 3. I don't like my waffles too dark, so we're gonna go ahead and put in about a 1/4 cup's worth of batter. You can just eyeball it. My measuring cup has 1/4 cup increments, so I'll know just about when it's been about a 1/4 cup. Just put a spatula in here to make sure everything is evenly mixed, and then we'll just drop some in. All right, and then this thing does catch overflow. There's a little, I don't know if you call it like a fluted edge, but there's a little moat, I guess, for your batter. So I'm gonna go ahead and secure that. Steam starts to come out. The steam that comes out of here smells just like the waffles that you're gonna be eating in just a little bit, so delicious. So if you don't want to rely on this color indicator, and I wouldn't recommend it for your first 2 or 3 batches, I'd double check the color by opening it up and checking on it. It's going to be a little bit of a gold brown is what you want. Then once you get used to which numbers correspond to which color, then you can be a little bit more, I guess, carefree about it. Or you can use a timer if you like to be exact. But I think it's been probably about 60 seconds or so by now, so I'm going to double check here, see how it's doing. And it's a little bit yellow still. So I like mine just like a tan color, light brown, not so much as dark as a sugar cone, but in between yellow and tan of a sugar cone. So maybe halfway in between there is the way I like it, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I have two tea towels here. You can use paper towels or you can use gloves for the second one, but I was going to use this to do a waffle cone bowl. So we'll set that aside, but right now we're going to start with a waffle cone. What we're going to do after this is ready is we're going to lay it down here, and then we're just going to roll it. We're going to put this cone tip on one side, and then we're going to roll it together, and then this helps to protect your hands because it's hot. So I'm just going to go ahead. I think this is done. It says it's baking actually, so it's not done yet, but let's go ahead and check on the color. All right, so still a little bit more time. And I meant to use this spatula for the batter, but I didn't. So this is the spatula we're going to use to get it off. I'm going to go ahead and check now. All right, so you can see there it's nice and brown around the edges. I'm going to go ahead and drag it off. So I'm going to take one edge right here, hold it up against using the paper towel, and then roll. And you need to pinch the bottom piece so that there is no gap, because if you don't, then you may have ice cream dripping out if you're holding it, which may not be such a good thing, unless you're going to go ahead and plug it with some chocolate, which is another way that you can get around that. So once you shape it into the cone, I usually hold it until it chills down a little bit, the temperature drops so that the cone firms up, and then you can let go and set it aside. All right, so here's our first cone. You can see on the bottom here, I pinched it so that nothing will come through, no ice cream will come through. So let's do another one. And I'm not doing full-size cones because I don't like them too big. We're just doing about half-size cones at this point. So I guess the next batch, we'll make a full-size waffle cone, and we'll form that into a bowl. I just basically pick this thing up and then try to push it down with the other towel, and then form it into a bowl, and then let that cool a little bit, and then set that aside. And then if you make a pretty big batch of these, what I usually do, if I'm not going to eat it within a week, then I'll just freeze it, and it keeps for about a month. I haven't kept my cones longer than a month because I eat a lot of ice cream, and they taste just as good as almost as good as the day that you made them. Okay, so here's my second cone. So pretty easy to make. So next we'll do a waffle cone bowl. So this is something a little bit different. That was a little bit too much. You can see the batter started to poop out on the sides. So like if you have this happen with a regular waffle maker, all you do is just cut off the edge. Since it's going to be slightly undercooked, so I'm going to go ahead and use a spatula to do that. Alright, so now you guys know what it looks like when you overfill. So I'm going to set this aside. We're going to make a waffle cone bowl this time, so it's going to be a little bit different. And this does get pretty hot, so you want to make sure that there's a clear area around it. You don't want to get anything melted or caught on fire, so be careful of that. I think this should be good. So I'm going to flip this over. It's a little bit darker on that side. And I'm going to go ahead and use the second towel here. You could use like a small bowl actually to shape it. But you got to work quickly so that it doesn't start to cool right away. You got to be gentle also pushing it in because it's going to crack. Actually, this one's already going to crack because I didn't put it in right away. So I'm just going to leave this. We'll leave this one as a disc and we'll cut it into wedges. Change of plans. Change of plans, guys. So while we're waiting for this to finish up, a few tips for you if you are making waffle cones for the first time or if you've made them in the past. If you want your waffle cones to be on the crunchier side, turn down the crust control to a lower number so it's lighter, and then bake it a little bit longer. That way it's going to dry out a little bit more. So another tip is to lay the cone on a flat surface like we have here on my counter. That way it makes it easier for you to roll and you'll get the correct shape of the cone, which is what we want. Another tip is to make sure that you roll the cones while they're hot, like I just showed you. It does cool quite quickly, and if it does, it's going to start to firm up and you won't be able to shape it. In addition, if you're not going to be using your cones right away, make sure to freeze it. So I usually try to use my cones within about a week or so if I don't freeze them. If I do freeze them, within about a month so that they don't get freezer burned. Oh no, see, this is what happens if you let it get too dark. So I was talking right there. So we'll just do this one as a waffle wedge. We're going to go ahead and cut this up, and I'll show you what the wedges look like. I basically just cut them that way. So There's one. Cut them in a quarter and then cut them in half again. Looks like these are a little bit too dry, so they got broken. But these are the wedges that you can serve with your ice cream. So it's very easy to cut when it's still warm. But as it cools, it'll get pretty firm right away. So definitely make sure to cut these wedges while they're warm. That way they won't crack. All right, so now we're gonna make our waffle bowl, and we're gonna put the waffle circle on this bottom piece, and then I'll use the top towel to shape it into a bowl. And if you want it to have a flat bottom so that it sits flat or flush with the bowl, or if you're using a plate, make sure to push against the counter after you get the rims of the bowl. All right, so that's what we're looking for. Go ahead and shape it there. So I like to make it almost like a flower. And I try to make the bottom about maybe 2 inches wide. And then as soon as you get the rims up, you just go ahead and place it on the counter and then let it set while holding the edges so that they don't fall down if it's still a little bit warm. And that's how you can make an ice cream waffle bowl. So not too bad. All right guys, so that's gonna be it for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the area below. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more videos like this one, as well as some Japanese food videos. I will link the ice cream machine review as well as some of my recipes in the videos somewhere. And other than that, I'll see you in my next video, and thanks for watching. See you later.